All right, so this example is William Shakespeare, and this is again this itemized versus standard. So we're figuring out which deduction he's taking. So you have your information sheet, which looks like this. We have the medical or the possible deductions down the top. And then on the W-2, again, just remember there's only 3 boxes we're going to use. So I want you to circle these 3 boxes. We're going to use box 1 and box 17 and box 19. Those are the only 3 boxes we use for this tax form. So if you will circle them, that way when you're doing this later, you're like, do I look through all of these? No, we only care about those 3 boxes for this form. Those 3 boxes are all that's important. For the other form, the 1040 form that we'll do later, you're going to use more of the boxes, but for this one, just those 3. So you're using those 3 or this list of items. If it is not in that list or in one of those 3 boxes, we're putting 0 on the line. So if it's not in one of those places, enter 0. Okay, so the top of the paper has the name and social security number. So write his name at the top and his social security number. And his social, I guess we do use one other box. We use the social security number box too. So you could circle that one, 555-666-7777. So enter that on there. All right, now we're going to read through every line and just do what it says. So medical and dental expenses. Go to your list and see, do you see medical or dental expenses? So that very top one right here, we're going to check it off because every time we use it, if we check it off, then we know we're done with it. We don't have to look at it anymore. So 6,500. So on the line 1, we're going to write 6,500. Again, make sure it's very legible that you can read your writing. Line 2 says enter amount from form 1040 or 1040 SR line 11. This, we haven't done that 1040. This is where I told you to look at box 1 on the W-2. So we're going to go to his W-2 and box 1 is that one right there that I have circled. So 74823.12. We're going to write that on that top line there. Or on line 2. And you have to write kind of small. Make sure you can read it though. So 74823.12. Double check them and you wrote the number down right too, because it obviously is going to make everything else wrong if that's wrong. Next line, multiply line 2 by 0.075. So we're taking this number right here and multiplying it by that number. So we're multiplying those together. So grab your calculators and multiply those 2 numbers. So you're multiplying 0.075 times that big number in line 2. All right, Ellie, what'd you get there? Awesome. Okay, we all okay with that? Is it 70? What? 734. So if it's a 4, let's leave it a 3. Yeah, that's great. So 73 for the end. So 5611.73. Okay, again, make sure you can read your writing. Kind of small boxes, so just make sure you can read it really good. The next one says subtract line 3 from line 1. If line 3 is more than line 1, enter 0. So is line 3 more than line 1? Is line 3 more? No. So we're going to subtract. Make sure when you're subtracting, you do line 1 minus line 3 in this. So in your calculator, you're doing 6,500 minus 5611.73. It might even be good in your notes to write that down. Just so if you look back at this, your notes is a good place to write extra stuff on your assignment. You cannot have to write every little piece, but in your notes, it's really good to have those written. So if I subtract those, and you guys do it and just double check my number for me, 888.27. Okay, we good there? All right, so there's the first section. Okay, now down to state and local. State and local taxes. So A says, that's the state and local income tax. Let's see, state and local income taxes. This is where we're going to look for just this. We're not going to ever really have the general sales tax. You won't see that, but you'll be able to tell because it's not going to be written there. So state and local income taxes, looking at the list. Do we have anything that says state and local income taxes in this list? But looking on our W-2, do we have that down below? Do you see on number 17, it says state taxes, 19 is local. So this is where we're doing box 17 and 19. So if there were two, we would add them together. This one just has the 1014.23. So we're going to write that on that line. So 1014.23. And if you need to, or it might be helpful to write box 17 and 19 next to this. So you've got it in another spot. That's what we're looking at for that one. Okay, Colby, you with us? So 5B, state and local real estate tax. So we're going to go to our list. Do we have state or local real estate taxes on there? What about the second one down? So it doesn't say both state and local. It could say one or the other. So see this right here, it says local real estate. That's the same thing. It doesn't have state and local. It could say state, it could say local, it could say both. So that's what we're going to use. So $1,000, we're going to put in that line. So 5C says state and local personal property tax. Do we see on the list, look at there, is there any personal property tax? Prince, put your phone away. So there's none there, so we're going to put 0. 5D says add 5A through 5C. So we're going to add those all together. So adding these three, 5A through 5C, gives me 2,014.23. Then part E says enter the smaller. So we're looking for the smaller number of 5D or 10,000. So we want to see which one's smaller. So 5D is 2,014, which is smaller than 10,000. So we're going to write 2,014 on that line. You're entering whichever is smaller. So if 10,000 is smaller, we put 10,000. If 5D is smaller, we're going to put 5D, whatever's in that line. 6 other taxes on his list. Is there anything that says other taxes? So we're going to put 0 because nothing says other taxes on that list. Then 7, add 5E and 6 together. So if we add 5E and 6, we're just adding 0. So that one is just going to stay 2014.23 again for that line. Okay. Number 8. Home mortgage interest and points. That first one is talking about checking this box. We're not going to ever worry about that for our people. That's if you didn't use your loan completely for your home. We're going to just go to part A. It says home mortgage interest and points. So we're looking for the words home mortgage interest or the words home mortgage points, either one of those. So it says on his list, we have home mortgage interest. So we're going to put a check mark by that and we're going to write that number down, 2578.12. We're going to write that down. So part A or 8A is 2578.12. B says things that are not reported, home mortgage interest not reported, and C says points not reported. So both of those are going to be 0 because we don't have anything listed that says not reported. There's nothing on our list that says things that are not reported. 8D we skip. 8E, add 8A through 8. 8A through 8C. So adding those together, I just get 2578.12. The next one says investment interest. So look at your list. Do you see any words that say investment interest? If not, we're going to enter 0 because there's no investment interest. And then 10, add 8E and 9 together. So we're going to keep that 2578.12. Okay, so now the next section. So we're almost done. Gifts by cash or check. So this is actual money that they were giving for charity. So gifts by cash, he did $2,700. So we're going to put $2,700 for his cash. So number 11, $2,700. 12 is other than by cash. So this would be the value of gifts donated to Goodwill, where he's donating things to Goodwill. So that was $56.90 on your other paper. So that kind of gets rid of our entire list. We should have everything checked off now. 13 says carryover, which we don't have anything that says carryover. 14, add 11 through 13 together. So if I add those all up, I'm going to get $83.90 for that one. Okay, 15, casualty and theft loss from a federally declared disaster. So looking at the list, does it say those words, casualty and theft loss from a disaster? Doesn't have that listed, so we're going to put 0. The next one, other things, other deductions. We don't have any other deductions, so we put 0. 17, add them all up. So you're going to take that far right column and add everything together. So you're adding line 4, line 7, line 10, 14, 15, 16, adding all those numbers together. And that's what's going to go down on the bottom. And this is your itemized deduction number. So if we add all those, I get 13,870.62. Okay, anybody check that to make sure I've got the same thing as you? 13,870.62. So that's his itemized deduction number. Write in your notes, put on here, this is the itemized deduction. So just write that in there. That will be helpful if you look later. That is the itemized deduction number. That's the whole purpose of this form, is to find that itemized deduction number. Now we can answer our questions on the front page. So we have 3 questions at the bottom. What is William Shakespeare's itemized deduction? So that number we just wrote, that's what we're going to put here. So 13,870.62. And then it says, what is his standard deduction? So going back to our notes again, we have the 2 deductions. We have a single 13,850. We have married 27,700. He is single. So we're going to put the 13,850 for the single number. So you're going to have to go back to that every time. So 13,850. Okay. Should William Shakespeare itemize or take the standard deduction? So which one are we going to do? The itemized, because why? It's bigger. So we're going to write itemized deduction. And I would even in your notes, just put a little note that says, because it is bigger. So write that in your notes. That way, when you're like, why did I choose that? You have that written right there and you don't have to look anywhere else. All right. So that's our whole goal, is to figure out if they're doing standard or itemized deduction.